you guys have been able to produce a lot of dream projects, things that your inner child would just scream about. Do you have any big dream projects that you'd like to work on next or in the near future?
Yes, we have lots of exciting things happening behind the scenes that we haven't announced yet. Some really interesting big partnership deals, which are pretty awesome. We're moving pretty aggressively into the primetime space, both on the scripted side and on the unscripted. So it's very exciting to think of where we've come in a very short period of time as a company, but also where we're headed over the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. It's a company that will have evolved and even that much more of a mature space, and it's very exciting for us.
I think one of the projects that we're really excited about as well is really venturing, and something that we've been working on the past 2 years and have just finally started talking about, a new venture for the company called Marble Live, which is really a culmination of a lot of thinking that's gone on behind the scenes between taking the experiences that we create on television, the experiences in the digital space, and looking at how we can bring those into a physical space. A bricks and mortar experience that in some ways can be an extension. Some places will actually be an opportunity to incubate new ideas, but will actually be a full 365-day-a-year experience for kids and families of all ages to actually come and enjoy within the GTA. So really for us, building this next generation theme park is that continuation of a dream that, again, inspired by the likes of Walt Disney, of course, really taking storytelling to another level and really involving your audience as a part of that journey.
Very cool. The excitement just doesn't stop.
Absolutely.
So, Matt, two-part question for you.
Sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about the process of development for new stories?
Sure. Was that the one? That's one question. You want to say, what's the second one? I'll put it all together.
Okay, let's put it all together. And what sort of things have you learned over the years with regards to developing a show from the ground up?
Sure. Development is an interesting process. It's a collaborative process, and while it's collaborative and involves a ton of people, it also requires visionaries. And so we've been certainly evolving our company to have the development team work a lot with outside creators and writers, people that have a very distinct voice, if you will, and tone, that have an exciting idea, and that's really what the buyers are looking for. So our development process is sometimes creating projects in-house, but now more and more is looking and teaming with outside writers and creators to get great projects off the ground. One thing I've certainly learned a lot over pitching a lot of shows over the past years is that people don't read as much as they used to, and it's not just about having a great script. Now it's also about having tape. We've seen that trend in the unscripted realm. What I mean by tape is having something that's really tangible that you can play for the buyer and the commissioner so that they can see the tone and the characters and all of that kind of come to life. That's true certainly in the unscripted realm over the past couple of years, where people are doing a lot more casting tapes to give a sense of characters, real people that you might have found, whether it be the next Duck Dynasty of interesting characters, some rural part of Canada, or a really eccentric real estate agent or what have you. You want to really convince the buyer that you've got great characters. That's on the unscripted realm. And on the scripted realm as well, we're finding more and more, the more that we have something beyond just a great script to get the buyer really, really excited. So we're shooting more pilots or sizzle tapes, things like that, so that when we go in and pitch, we really give a sense of the flavor of the tone and the excitement. And then that excitement can carry forward from both the person we're commissioning, that's commissioning in the room, and also all of the other stakeholders within the organization that they have to get excited about the project as well. So I think we've become really smart as a company about where we focus our energy on trying to get ideas off of the ground. But it's forever evolving, and you have to be as nimble as the industry needs you to be.
Okay.
Very cool.
That's great.
And Mark, I got a two-part question for you as well. Going back to Marble Live, you told me a little bit about it, but can you tell me how the idea came to be?
Absolutely. And what's the other part?
Oh, you want to know the other part now? I was going to ask you once we've answered a little bit of it. What can give us a preview? What can people look forward to?
Okay.
Got to stay prepared.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the interesting part for us in developing Marble Live has really been trying to think about how do we advance storytelling, and much in the same way that we embrace transmedia storytelling. How do we take that and bring that into a physical space? Because the idea, one of the principles of transmedia is that each platform that the audience engages with has to be a two-way conversation. So it has to really be about giving an experience, whether it's on television or online, but ideally it's actually about allowing the audience to contribute. And so we've always said, in a lot of our kids programs, that's about, encouraging kids to go out into the world and explore the world and go out and be a real active participant. And well, part of our thinking said, well, wouldn't it be great if there was a facility that we had that would actually enable that to happen, that would give us that opportunity to take our brands, both our legacy brands, the ongoing brands that we're producing with networks, and moving forward to conceive of new brands that kids could actually experience within the physical space that they would have seen online or watched on television. And how could we actually take that and actually create a facility that would allow us to do that? And running parallel was that we were looking at, as we talked about before, the great success we had of Splat-A-Lot. And it's funny, we have this wonderful castle that sits outdoors in this field, and Matt and I were up looking at this castle sitting in the middle of a field in the middle of winter, and everybody and their brother, quite literally, including my brothers, says, it's too bad this wasn't, open so that we could do parties or people want to shoot music videos or corporate events. It'd be great to have a place like this where you can just come and play and do these things. And of course, the challenge that we have in Canada is the winter and really not being able to do a lot of this stuff outdoors. And so we joked and said, it's too bad the castle wasn't within a dome that we could do these things. And then you start to think, if we actually had something like this within a domed environment, then you could take advantage of what we're calling 365 days of summer. And that's really where it started. And running parallel with that, we had an opportunity with a partner who came on board, an entrepreneur by the name of John Berdock. And John, for years, we had worked with him because John ran what is now the Canadian Media Production Association, that's CMPA, used to be the CFTPA. And John left the organization 2 years ago. And he's an entrepreneur, investor, a lawyer, and a good friend. And we said, why don't you just come and hang out here at Marble? And not to be our counselor or anything, but let's just be in the same proximity and see if a synergy develops on an idea. And it was only about a few months in where, again, we had started these conversations. John's a father of 3 boys, always looking for interesting things to do. And it was actually one of his sons who said to him, it's too bad there's not an indoor water park. And so the combination of those events, that's really what inspired it. So that's really the inspiration for where Marble Live developed. And we're really excited. We brought on a great group of consultants and team members from the US and from across Canada who've had experience developing this type of parks before, who've worked with all the big players. And we're really excited to see the response. We went public to share this project in March, and within a 24-hour period, we had over 31 million media impressions. Phenomenal response. We know about the excitement, and we look forward to later this year announcing where the location is going to be and to breaking ground on our site in April of 2015. And launching to the public in fall of 2016. So we're very excited about it. We really think this will be a next generation theme park. It will surprise and excite our guests, and it'll be something that people haven't seen before.
Sounds unlike anything I've ever heard of.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. And lastly, if you have some advice to give to young, aspiring content producers, what would that advice be?
I think don't be afraid to dream. The reality is that anything really is possible. It's about a huge amount of persistence. It's about a huge amount of passion, and it's about timing and luck, and it's about being naive. And part of the challenge we become experienced people like us is you start to become less naive, and then you start to be more in tune with reality, and that can be challenging, is trying to balance that. But you have to have the persistence. And in our case, we're fortunate in that we have the partnership, and that partnership is partly what energizes both of us and excites us and helps us realize that kind of anything is possible.
That's amazing.
There's a great quote from Walt Disney that I have on my wall in my office, and it says, it's kind of fun to do the impossible. And I think, to Matt's point, it is really important to not fear that. But it's important to also know the journey that you're embarking on, and that it really is about needing to have a shared vision and have a shared partnership that will help you get through the good and the bad times. Because without a doubt, every single day you'll have incredible highs and incredible lows. So you have to be able to ride that wave, and it's an exciting wave to ride. But you really have to be able to, laugh at the lows and celebrate the highs, because it's a great journey.
Oh, that was lovely. Thank you to you both.
I think that's all the time we have for today, guys. So thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to everything Marble Media has in store for the future.
Thank you so much.
I'm Adam.
And I am Tiffanie, filling in for Alessandra, and this has been an exclusive for Out of Frame.